Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we are going to discuss Jasmy. None of the content is financial advice. The reason we are discussing Jasmy today, it's up by several percent points again over the last 24 hours, about 16% over the last 7 days, about 30%. Market cap at around 650 million. Currently has about 100% of its, or almost 100% of its max supply in circulation at around 90 around 49 point almost 49.5 billion out of the 50 billion max supply. If we look at the current price and the market cap based rank is at around 84th spot. If you toggle between the price and the market cap view on coin market cap over here, you're seeing essentially the same chart. That is because no token released over the course of an year, because the max supply and the circulating supply are essentially one and the same. If we look at the current machine learning based price forecast, the current price for Jasmy is at around 1.3 cents. There was, per the technical analysis, there was a rally, or sorry, a crash to this major area of support that Jasmy did hold for majority of the bear, the correction of 2022 as well as in 2021 at this slightly below a cent at around 0.009 uh, dollars for Jasmy. Now the price has rallied from that point in time. If it double bottoms at this point, like it did back in December 2022 and October 2023 at a much lower level at around 0.002 cent, uh, sorry, $0.002. uh, if there is a double bottom over here, that could kickstart a rally potentially to this 20-week simple moving average coming in at around 2.5 cents, about a 2x from the current price. If the prices were to go back to the Fibonacci levels of interest, they did not go to that level back in November, December of 2024 at around 7.5 cent. That would correspond to 0.23 fib level. That is the first area for Jasmy to look for again at this stage of the bull run. Again, even if it makes a rally to the zero point 0.5 fib level, that would be a big deal. Now that we are almost halfway through the post halving year of 2025, that is at 16 cents, that represents from here more than 10x rally. Now that the price is at around 1.3 cents, so more than 10x, that gets to the zero point 0.5 fib level. If being more conservative, that 0.38 fib level comes at around 12.5 cents, almost 9x from current price. And the more conservative level is at 0.23 level at around fib level at around 7.8 cents, essentially 6x from the current price. 13 times 6 would be 78. So going back to the machine learning price forecast, in the next 6 months, if there is a bull case for Jasmy without any euphoria case, that is the one standard deviation or 68 percentile bull case, uh, for recovery for Jasmy could be between, again, not financial advice, between uh, 1.38 cents and about 4.3 cents. The 4.3 cents level, coincidentally, is of somewhat of an interest, because if it were to go there, that would correspond to the second and the third top that Jasmy did have back in December of 2024 and June of 2024. So those two levels are of somewhat of an interest, that kind of confluent with the top in June and December over here, and that would correspond to the triple top if those price points were to get realized in the next 6 months. If on the other hand, if there is a euphoria in the market again all the way to about 79 cents, that's the prediction per the machine learning model. Again, that is quite outlandish. A 79 cents Jasmy token would be outside of the bounds that it had, essentially, since again, if we ignore the initial unlock phase of Jasmy in May, let's take November as more credible high than May. From 32 cents, if we consider that was the peak for Jasmy, and 78 79 cents Jasmy would be somewhere between 1.618 and 2.618 fib level. Again, that is quite outlandish. If we were to take a average or a mean of those two scenarios, that could slightly be more realistic. Again, 79 plus 4, that gets at around 83, and dividing it by 2 at around 41-42 cents. That puts Jasmy somewhere over here, slightly under the 1.618, but above the above the previous, that is at November 2021 high at around 32 cents, slightly above that around 42 cents. So that's the ultra bullish case for Jasmy. On the other hand, if the prices were to consolidate over the next 6 months, the base case is series of lower highs till about September 2025, kind of bottoming close to that 1 cent level, a double bottom at this point. That could also be a base case. And if the market were to bleed for the next 6 months, that support is between $0.004 and $0.009. So kind of like a previously held area of support in this regimen over here since 2021 June, and then again June, July, August of 2022. So that could be a point to look for. If there is a breakdown from that support level, then the next area of support is all the way at around 0.005 dollars for Jasmy. Again, purpose of this forecast is not to tell if the prices have to go up or down or sideways. That essentially what the three things an asset could do, either go up, down, or sideways. But with this modeling, we can estimate what could be a theoretical upside and downside, whatever the market can throw at you. At least one could model it. It's not financial advice by any stretch of the imagination, and it's again created using machine learning techniques such as seasonal ARIMA, LSTM, and XGBoost. Machine learning model trained on the weekly price action for Jasmy since the token launch in February 2021. So going back to the regression based fair value estimation for Jasmy, right now a 2 cent Jasmy would be considered fairly value per the polynomial regression model. That means right now prices are undervalued. As how undervalued? Almost one standard deviation residual applied to the fair value kind of captures major bottoms for Jasmy. It did capture the major bottom in October 2023. That was the undervaluation signal. Again, it back tested in January 2024. Again, this is a non-linear function. So depending on the sentiment and the phase of the market cycle, the polynomial regression function does react to that. Right now that support is again coming in at around close to the price action and the recent drawdown that Jasmy had, slightly less than 1 cent price action back in early part of April of late March and early April of 2025. Again, that is a key area of support from the regression based perspective. If again the opposite of the one standard deviation bottom is one standard deviation top, together the yellow and the if we get rid of the fair value, the yellow and the green line holds about 68 percentile of the 68% of the time the price action spends between these bounds. Again, the major resistance that the yellow line does offer. Again, there were 3 iterations where prices tried to rally beyond this yellow line and failed to do so. That yellow line is coincidentally at around 4.2 cent, very confluent with the triple top, potential triple top, if they were to occur at around 4.2 cents in the next few months for Jasmy. If on the other hand there is a 2 standard deviation ceiling, a 95 percentile probability that the price action stays within this level is coming in at around 8.9 cents. And 8.9 cents Jasmy token would be considered a 95 percentile peak. So that's the regression based overvaluation for Jasmy. Now coming back to the DCA model that we have, which is a estimation of the polynomial regression model that we just saw over here. Instead of having a bar chart, this is a price color coded with respect to the risk levels offered and calculated using this regression based valuation. The key idea is the cooler colors or the lower risk level. That's where DCA makes the most amount of sense for Jasmy or any altcoin for that matter. Whenever, let's say, the risks are less than 10%, like they were back in October 2023, February 2024, and in late March and early April of 2025 again. That's where for this model DCA makes the most amount of risk reward based sense. The opposite of that is whenever there is a major rally that occurs, the risk levels of interest for an altcoin, especially for Jasmy, is between 40% and 60% risk. Again, this would have covered most of the major peaks that Jasmy had, and price at that risk level is worth considering. What could be the price if the prices were to go to that risk level, and then using the historical data as a as a toolkit in the back of mind to estimate if there is a further upside or downside. So if the prices were to go between the 40% and 60% risk level, the prices could be between 3 cents and about 4 cents. So that's a tight range at around between 3 cents and 4 cents. That's why, because the prices are always in this fraction of a cent level. That's why if we are rounding it out to 2 decimal point, price action between 3 and 4 cents is considered at this point in time a moderate risk reward again, and the higher end between 5 cents and 7 cents. So that helps and identify what could be a theoretical peak for Jasmy. Again, you can see that if we try to create a dotted red line to understand what the theoretical peak for Jasmy could be in the future. Right now it's saying that a 5.48 cent Jasmy would be considered an overvalued or overheated at any point where there could be a higher probability of major correction to the downside. So a 5.48 at this point, but you can see that since about January 2023, this polynomial regression function ceiling is dropping from now. From during the end of year 2024 was at around 6.3 cents. Now it's currently at around 5.48 cents. If it takes about 6 months into the future, those the dotted red line could also meet the price action at around 4.2 cent level, again signaling a major area of confluence over here, 1 2 and potentially third peak, uh, backed by the machine learning based price forecast as well as regression based analysis and this DCA model, all in all pointing to that 4.23 cents again over here, 4.2 to 4.3 cents as a peak for Jasmy. Again, thousands of hours went behind this machine learning model, keeping this site available for all for free, updating these models at a daily level. So if you enjoy this kind of analysis, not just for Jasmy, for most of the top 100 cryptos by market cap over here, along with some of the major indicators such as how Bitcoin and ETH risk are doing, and based on that, it is whether it is a good time to DC or not. How is the year to date ROI performance for these major assets? How far we are into the bull market completion? These kind of analysis, overall sentiment score as of today, the narratives which are popular in the market in terms of social media activity related to crypto, the heat map, uh, how the major cryptos are performing over the course of several key time periods. All of the content available over here. Again, the crypto TLDR deals with the sentiment. um, Peak value helps identify the um, bull market completion. The narratives that we saw are available here, the heat map that we saw, and the Bitcoin Ether ROI, all of the content available for free. You don't have to sign up or pay for anything. So if you like, if you enjoy this content, please give us a like and subscribe, and also check out the website on the bottom of your screen. None of the content is financial advice. And before we conclude everything related to Jasmy, we'll briefly look at the time weighted average price model again. The price is continuously below the time weighted average price. This is not as helpful of a model as the prices have consistently spent in the downturn. The SMA model does offer some insights, especially this is a tight range for this model again, uh, between accumulation and distribution. You can see essentially it's a game of basically two risk levels for Jasmy. Whenever the prices enter these two risk level, that's where it's kind of like a flag. Whenever the prices per this 20-week simple moving average are less than 50% risk, uh, that's sorry, more than 50% risk, like they were, that's a uh, that's a distribution or a sell signal or overvaluation signal. And the opposite of that is whenever they're between 40 and 50% risk, they're still kind of okay with respect to risk reward. If the prices were to go to between the 50 to 60% risk per this model, if we look at uh, this model from that perspective, between 50 to 60% risk, that takes price action between 15 cents and about 17 cents. So that's the higher end of the price forecast for Jasmy. And with that, I would like to conclude major area of confluence at 4.2 cents, next level at around 8 cents, and potentially 17 cents. And an ultra bullish case at around 40 cents for Jasmy. With that, I would like to conclude the video. Hope you enjoy the content. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.